Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start with this video. This is not a normal video that I typically make on my channel, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you would know that. But I feel like what's going on right now is important enough that I needed to say something. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk for a little bit. I'm hoping this video isn't too long. I kind of just want to speak openly from my heart. So because of that, I didn't take notes. I didn't script out anything. I don't have any type of like logical bullet points to touch on. So this is forewarning, this could be a little bit rambly. So I'm going to pre-apologize. I'm sorry. But I think this is kind of just me like getting everything out. And so I'm going to do it as logically as I can. But I mean, I just feel like my thoughts are all over the place. I was debating whether or not to film something. Now, of course, I've been posting, like a lot of people, I've chosen a couple of posts that really resonated with me, and I chose to put them on my Instagram. And so that kind of, I had a conversation with a friend, and we kind of started talking about that, about posting and using social media to speak about everything that's going on, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the Black Lives Matter movement, just everything. And a friend of mine, we just were both talking, and it came to me because I think I was feeling towards some people in my life that I have come across, I think I was feeling a lack of passion on this subject from them, and it was really starting to get to me, and I started to feel a little resentful, I guess, towards those people who I didn't feel like were talking about everything that's going on. And I was just like, why aren't they more upset? Why doesn't this hit home? And so that's kind of sparked the conversation with my friend. And it kind of came to me, and then this is what I kind of thought from that conversation. I was like, I kind of want to say this. Not everybody, well, and I'll say this before I say that, I was watching some other people's videos on this subject and where they feel. And one person specifically, I watched her video, and I'll link it below if you haven't seen it, but she's quite a big YouTuber. Her name is Chizzy Duru, I think, if I'm saying her name correctly. But Chizzy is her first name. And she said something in her video that really sat with me, which is everyone handles trauma differently. And I think that's so important. And I think that's important for me to remember. I think that's important for everyone to remember. Everybody handles situations like that differently. And she was saying in her video that what we saw there with George Floyd and that officer was very traumatic, and it was horrible. And I think everyone processes that differently. And so I think you can't necessarily pinpoint how someone should handle something and then what they should do afterwards. And I think that's what I was starting to do. I was starting to kind of get upset because I felt like certain people in my life didn't have enough passion, or I guess I felt like, based off of how they handled the situation or how they were handling the days that followed, I processed that as lack of passion from them. And I was just like, And then the lack of passion, what I was interpreting as lack of passion, led into they don't care. And so for me, it was just kind of, I think I had to take a step back and realize, okay, everyone handles everything differently. And what is it that you actually want? Like me, what do I actually want from people? Because not everybody is meant to go out and march, okay? Not everybody has a Facebook or a Twitter account or an Instagram or a YouTube channel where they're going to post something on their social media or make a video. Not everybody has money to donate. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I just wanted to say that I feel like there's not one way to handle this, and there's not one way to try to make a difference. I think there's a plethora of things that someone can do, but I think, and I was thinking about it, and I was just like, what to me is the most important thing that someone could do? And to me, I think just having the conversation is important, which is another reason why I wanted to come on here and just make this video, is because I think that at the end of the day, regardless of whether you go out and protest and march or donate your money or time or sign petitions or text or make videos or post, meaningful quotes on Instagram, I think as long as you're having the conversation and doing something, I think that is step A, or the first thing that we need to do to move out of this dark place that I feel like our country's in. I feel like people just need to have the conversation, and maybe before you even have the conversation with someone else, have the conversation with yourself and really see, do I have any biases? Do I have any type of racial or racial bias or racial, tendencies, or racist tendencies. And I think recognizing maybe your own faults that you might have, and then talking about that. And if you don't have any, then that's great. But I think having the conversation, even if it's not in the public eye, I think that's so important. Talking about it, having that hard conversation with a spouse or with your children or with a peer, a friend, a parent, just a peer at, I think I already said that, a peer at work, sorry, all over the place. But I just think having the conversation with people is the first thing that we need to do to get out of this place. And then obviously from there, I feel like once you have that conversation and once you start to realize like where you stand and where you are, I think the next steps will fall into place. And I think a lot of that could be situations like everyone has already laid out, like voting, obviously, or signing petitions, or, maybe doing a peaceful protest or whatever it is that you want to do. But that was something that I kind of came to realize, I think, because, and I think I also felt that I wasn't doing enough in the beginning stages. I was just having conversations with different people in my life. But then I started thinking, I was just like, I think that's definitely the first step. That's the most important step, is not shying away from the conversation and not acting like this is going to end and that it's going to disappear. Having those hard conversations with people. I'm half black for people who don't know me. My mom is black, and my father is Mexican, but my fiance is Caucasian. And so it's just a kind of a mixture of different, races and ethnic cultures that I'm like surrounded with. And so hearing different people's perspective on the situation, but regardless, just having that conversation and hearing their perspective and maybe having them hear mine, I think is where it all starts. And so I think I just that was the main thing I wanted to say. I wanted to come on here and say, I think that no matter what, if you could just, each individual person, if you could just stop and actually have the conversation with the people in your own circle, the people in your own environment, if everybody does that, then I think eventually it will start to move over into a bigger space. And then obviously, I think once you start talking with people, ideas start spreading, like something like Let's Vote, or making sure that we are getting the right people who align with our thoughts in a position of power. But I feel like just talking and just saying something is a stepping stone. So I want to encourage anyone who's watching this video, and I obviously don't have like millions of subscribers, but it doesn't matter. And I was thinking about that too. Before I did this video, I was just like, how many people are actually going to see my video? And then I was like, it doesn't matter. If one person sees my video, like I just feel like you never know what type of impact you'll have on one person. So if one person sees my video and they feel so compelled to not talk about me, but just have the conversation and start speaking, they might talk to someone else, and then that person might talk to someone else who talks to someone who has a huge platform, and the message just keeps moving. And I know I've been inspired by people that I've watched, by people that I've heard. So I just think it's like a domino effect, and I think that it doesn't matter if you just touch one person. You never know who you might be able to get to. You never know who you might be able to inspire and touch, and that could lead to something so much bigger and so much greater, and that's worth it. And then it's all worth it. So yeah, that's why I just wanted to say, I think that having the conversation is the beginning. I think that's if you feel like you don't know what to do, and you're like, I don't know what to do, and I feel like I'm suffocating because there's just so much going on, I don't know where I stand or how I can help or how I can actually make a difference. I feel like just having the conversation and talking about it with someone, regardless of what race you're a part of, at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, we're all in this together. We're all in this country together. And so because of that, it's everyone's problem. So regardless of what you look like, I feel like if everyone could just have the conversation, I think we might be able to get somewhere good. So yeah, that's all I want to say. I don't know how long this video is. Hopefully not more than like 10 minutes because I don't want it. I want it to be pretty raw and unedited, so I don't think I'm going to edit it. I think I'm just going to put it out there. But yeah, if you made it to the end, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.